But I believe everything we are watching was predetermined. There's no way Trump risked his entire life. Otherwise, he knew this was going to happen. Why wouldn't you think he would risk his entire life? Wouldn't you? Once you know what their plan is, what the globalist plan is, and he knew well before any of us. I mean, I don't think, well, I didn't know. Most people, let's just put it that way, most people in America didn't know the extent to where these people wanted to take things, because we didn't pay attention to the World Economic Forum. Most people would believe the media. The media says the World Economic Forum has no, nothing they say or do has any impact. Oh, yes, it does. They are the billionaires of the world. It absolutely impacts every country. So it would be worth risking your life, because nobody would want to live under that. I mean, does anybody want to live under the rest of their life, science determining whether you can get a job, where you can go, where you can stand, who you can visit, whether you can drive an electric car or drive a gas car? Do we want people deciding that they will score you and decide if you will be able to withdraw a certain, take out any money on your own money you earned because your GP or not GPS, your ESG score wasn't where they want it to be? Nobody wants to live under that system. It would be unhappiness for everybody, which is exactly why the World Economic Forum wants to do it. While they bring it forward that this is going to help humanity and they're going to bring humanity together, they're really just about wanting to make people miserable. That's the one thing I've noticed about these people, and I've noticed it in the hospital CEOs, is that they will go out of their way to make your conditions miserable. It's not a matter of not having the money. It's not a matter of whatever bullshit excuses. They just want to do whatever they can to make their employees miserable. That may be hard for people to believe, but it's true. That's exactly how the World Economic Forum is. And it's very simple why they are like that. They are people that have become obsessed and in love with money, so much so that they have become sick. They're never going to be happy. They went after money thinking that is where they would find their happiness. And over time, it's brought them power and it's brought them this sense of security. But in the end, it hasn't brought them a bit of happiness. It's only brought them to become narcissists. And those narcissists, usually those type people, are about wanting to do whatever they can to make other people miserable because they themselves are miserable. So I absolutely believe that Trump, knowing what is at stake, it would be better to lose your family, to lose your life fighting against it, than to capitulate to it because of the misery it would be to live under. So I see some people saying this, Trump would have never risked his life. Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would. Think about it. He has so many grandchildren. He had Barron, his youngest son. He doesn't want to see them grow up in some system that's going to control them. I mean, think about it. Trump is, the one thing he is not is somebody that wants other people controlling him. So I get it, because when most people came awake, don't you feel the same way? No, I'd rather die than live under the system that the World Economic Forum and the UN want us to live under. I would rather die than go along with DEI and this sickness that is spreading through the country right now, than capitulating to it. Because capitulating to it isn't going to serve anybody. I mean, I remember, who was it? Oh, she served in Bush Senior's administration in HUD, I think. Catherine, I can't think of her name. People have seen her videos, though. Catherine, she served in Bush Seniors. She knows all about the banking system and how it all operates. And I remember her saying that, because I had contacted her when, like, with the Northwestern putting those cameras in, I had contacted her because she had a YouTube channel, and she contacted me back. And I remember she also said this on one of her shows, is that there's some things that are worse than death. I'll never forget her saying that. There's some things that are worse than death. Living under what the World Economic Forum, the UN, what all of these sick billionaires want is that would be worse than living. It would be worse living under that. I would rather just, I'm not that afraid of dying. I don't think most people that believe in God, it's like, no, you know, there's something more. So, I would rather, I would risk everything for it, because most especially because I don't want to see people that are younger than me have to live under that system. So I think that's simple to say. Trump banked on, is it an operation that they expected to go in the direction it's going? Yes. Yes. But to think that Trump didn't risk anything doing this, no, I think he literally risked that that if the American people didn't wake up, there would be no chance. That's the key. That's the key of what I'm saying, is if the American people stay, he knew there was, I think that he knew that most of the higher educated, there was just, they either are on board with that sick plan because they themselves are sick, or they just believe only there's group of people that tell them all the same thing, which is that these are the experts. I think he knew that he had to tap into the everyday American, and that would be what would save the country from the hands of the media, from the hands of these sick people that have been controlling the country and been taking us further and further into a debt slave system, and just getting more tyrannical over time. It's just they've been bringing it in slowly. So, but I think that ultimately, if you look at it this way, if the people didn't rise up, what do you think would be happening? Just think about it. Trump's numbers wouldn't be where they're at. I'm not saying he can't get there on his own, but he needs the people. There's a reason in his rallies he says it's we. It's we. Because he needs us to stand up so that the life that he did risk, which I believe is his own, is saved. Think about it. Because if the people just wanted to remain silent and passive, it would be much easier for this system to continue to go after him. Now, they do still continue to go after him, but they're losing, right? They're losing. Their court, we've heard since the time that Trump had gotten into office that they were going to put him in jail. That was, 7-8 years ago? Okay, so they haven't been able to do that, no matter how much they say he's a criminal, he belongs in an orange jumpsuit, all that. It hasn't happened, right? And I think there's people in high places that also have wanted to bring the smaller criminals out. I've said before, I think when Trump said he caught them all, he did. He caught the top. He knows everybody in the swamp. That it's wanting to get all the other players that got on board with this. And I don't mean got on board with this not knowingly, but knowingly got on board with what they knew would be usurping the United States Constitution. Get all of them too. Because as long as you're going to clear the place out and make sure to restore it back to what our Constitution, our original Constitution is, you can't do it without the people. So I believe, even though it is an operation, it's always, always, always been contingent on we the people.